Welcome everybody. I'm back, everybody. GA Sim Pilot here. Doing the leg 3 of leg 3 of the flight from Florida to Michigan. Currently sitting at the GA parking of the northeast side of Savanna Hilton Head. And today our trek is going to be taking us from Savanna to Augusta, which we are going to get, we're going to simulate flying this IFR today. Somewhat. Don't beat me up too bad on the post. I have done some I have done all the way up to the I3 on Pilot Edge, so I know it was entailed, but we don't have Pilot Edge over on the East Coast, so I'm gonna simulate for the most part and not kind of waste your guys' time of me making calls to an ATC that's not going to respond back to me. Okay, so we're KSAV, so we're going to look at our, so we're going to go spun, back. Okay, so let's get that. So our next one is going to be, and our waypoint is going to be S P Spung, SPONG. Spun. Okay, next leg after that it's going to be Dover. And I'm referring to my, and we're going to shoot the ILS approach into Augusta. The winds are favoring it today. The track is 352, and I believe the last time I checked the winds were 320, so it should be pretty good. We're going to go off, get a vector off of Sardi, so Dover's our next point. Dover, southeast US, yep, except Dover, Milan, MIL, LEN. Milan. And our last one's Sardi. Very sensitive. Can't wait to get another panel for the rotary knobs. Make this a lot easier. I can go completely hands off. That's of course the future of my flight sim experience is going to be to not have to worry about clicking stuff, especially on the airfoil labs. They've done it so good and so right, and if you couple the airfoil labs aircraft with XP Realistic, and even the actual built-in head bob and movements and geofx and stuff like that, it can get very frustrating because it doesn't have the mouse rotating wheel option on any of the stuff. So if you're moving all over, and they have very, very small click spots, so it is nearly a pain. See, I mean, that's the difference between the small one and the big one right there. And then, I mean, we're only talking about maybe, I'm only moving my mouse, maybe I can turn the sensitivity of my mouse, but I mean, I'm seriously moving that only maybe like about, that's seriously on the size of a dime that I'm rotating my mouse right now. So yes, definitely having the rotary buttons on a panel would help significantly. And our next point is going to be AGS. We're going to Augusta today. And that's where we're going. Now I'll tell you why I put that in later, because now we have our waypoints on the Victor Airways, and I don't have my map to show me right now, but I don't know which Victor Airway. Actually, we can look it up here on our map here. But our Victor Airway is Victor 185. So Victor 185 out here. This intersection right here is Milan. And I believe that intersection is not Sardi, but it might be Sardi. No, Sardi's like somewhere right around here. Then we're gonna get a vector to come out, and we're gonna intercept the ILS for runway 35. Let's check our make sure ATIS and all the information's up to date. CTAF, Unicom ground. Wow. So 300 at 10. So that's going to be right on the numbers for us. 300 at 10. And there is no ATIS. 144 feet is field elevation, and let me double check that, and that is 146. Alright, 146 is from the charts, so in X-Plane it says 144, and really that's just a reset of the airfield. That all you have to do is on that, but I can't believe it wouldn't have had any ATIS in there, even an AWAS. It is 132.75, but it's not going to work if it's not an X-Plane. So we're going to have to go back on this. So 10, altimeter's 298.3, so I'm going to write that down. 298.3. Okay. Okay, here, Hilton Head does not have their ATIS plugged into X-Planes either. So we're gonna have to go back on that. So it's 29.87, wind 12, 290 at 12. So let's figure out where we're gonna go off. We may be going off the same. All right, yep, we're gonna go off at 2.8. So in the grand scheme of things, we're going through our ILS. If we're going IFR on this flight, we're going to contact clearance delivery, request an IFR clearance, and file our IFR plan prior to this, but then request clearance to Augusta. And then they would give us directions, give us the departure code, which would probably, in this case, if these are correct, be either the 1099 or the 1119, maybe another one, then transition to the center. Then we'd go to ground, request taxi, and then go to the tower and request the departure. So we're going to get ready for this. We're going to head out here. This is Bravo to Charlie that way, and to Charlie for departure. So Alright, so we got our final leg in there. So now what we can do is we're going to, we'll do it in the air, but we can do our procedure at the end, and we're going to select our approach. And our approach is going to be ILS 3.5. 3.5. We can get this ready right now. It's no big deal. Vectors, we are going to go from Sardi to, and we're going to load it but not activate it. Got to remember that. Got to remember to activate. So flight plan, and our sponge is our next waypoint. Technically it's going to be the VOR to sponge, but we'll simulate getting vectors onto that that radial because it's not very far away. Other than that, our flight plan looks good. Got that all set up. Going to be traveling west today. So we're going to be at an even altitude. So, and how long is our leg here? Let's go. Our leg is going to be 88.2 miles estimated. Estimated time 42 minutes. So let's we'll kick it all the way up to, let's kick it all the way up to let's go to 4,500. Yeah. Alright, so let's light the tires. Everything's on, everything's good. Beacon's on, landing light taxi. Okay, taxi's on, nav's on. Alright, parking rate release. And we're going to get ready for this, our nav. And we are going to switch over to GPS, and we're going to let the autopilot, and we're going to get that set for 4,500. Be a nice little cruise for us. Okay, got our camera set up again. Alright, so let's head out here. Again, thank you for joining us if you're following my series from the Florida to Michigan flights. Like I said, if you haven't caught any of my other videos, go ahead and check them out, because trying to make it entertaining by doing different things each and every time, whether we shoot an approach like today, we'll be shooting the ILS, or we have different conditions like for the most part I am going to be running real world conditions. Now, would it be the same day after everything? No, because I can't always get on the sim every single day. I'm gonna try to be on top of getting a flight in every other day, or every day if I can, but definitely loading real world weather. Today was an interesting day because of real world weather. Almost all day in North Florida, we were looking at 17 knot winds, 17 to 20 knot winds out of 2.9 to 300, and gusting to 2.5. In some places, I know St. Augustine was seeing gusting to 20. Jacksonville was gusting to 25, I think. But yeah, so like I said, we're going to try to make this interesting. And then if you hadn't seen my last video, if there's availability for passengers to be going in the same direction we're going, we'll hook up with FS Economy. I have not found, since I've been on FS Economy for only about a week now, a shortage of like passengers going to a place that I somewhat wouldn't mind going to. However, I have had a problem of finding an airplane that I have an X-plane to take them there. So it's been one of my challenges. So like I said, if we were flying IFR right now, we would already had our ground clearance. We'd be getting ready to talk to tower. As we do our run up, we're at the end of Charlie. And I am shooting for a below 100 feet per minute landing today. If you've noticed, I've had that landing speed calculator. Been shooting for under 100. I know it's nothing other than just simply trying to perfect on what we can in the simulator. Other than that, we're going to get ready to go make sure full forward. Let's crank her up to 18. And let's go left mag. About 100. Right mag. No more than 50. Everything's in the green. Back to the left. I get a little bit of a jostle when I go to left, but we're back to both. Back to 18. I'm gonna try left again. Yeah, we're looking good. You see there's a little stutter right there. Okay, come back down. Check my maintenance one more time. I checked on the last leg, and magnetos are not coming up as a fault right now, but yeah, left and right magnetos are green. Medium. Medium wear. It's not light, but it's medium. 7.3 quarts. We're good there. Anything above 6. Although after this flight, I will definitely probably top off because it will be probably close to that 6 mark. 6.5. I think it's been, for an hour-long flight, it pretty much goes down about 1 quart. So, other than that, okay, we're going to go off 2.8. We're going to simulate that they gave us instructions to have a heading of 300, which, let's see where, so 344 is our direction bearing that we're looking for, so 300, and then we'll get another vector to where we want to go. Okay, alright. Or actually, we're going to take up 2.8. Yeah, that makes sense. 300. Sounds good. We're a little low right now. That's why the volts are kicking on. Let's test our annunciator panel. Everything's flashing. Everything's good. GPS is on. Trim is set. Let's go up a little bit. Okay. I felt like one person in there on light baggage. The light CG just underneath that number is really nice. Okay. Let's reset our screen. Alright, let's take off. Everything clear. Nothing on final, nothing on the runway. Okay. Let's light it up. Okay. I did switch down to the lower res model instead of the, I was flying the high res. Wasn't really having too many frame issues with it until I was flying more of the scenic night flying and just plain out night flying. I wasn't really having any problems with it, but I have today during the day. I definitely, when I'm on pilot edge in ZLA, I am not flying the high level. But with all that ground traffic and other airplanes and stuff. Okay, airspeed's alive. We're at 5560 and we're going to rotate. Okay. At or below, let's say they said at or below 1,000. So once we hit our 500, we're going to course correct 300. Okay, 300. Okay, tower would say something like contact departure, and that would be the code that clearance gave us. So we switch over there. Contact clearance. Okay, they give our next instructions. So now we're going 3-3. So we're going 3-3. Oh, you know what? The biggest thing that I completely forgot. I'll tell you what, IFR. So they gave us a squawk code of 1313, and we're reporting altitude. That would have been the very first thing that I would have gotten from them. So now we're going to go back over to autopilot, and we're going to go to nav, and we're going to go to altitude. We're going to go up 800 feet per minute. And am I that really that far off, or what? Nope, we're good. There it is. Okay. And tower would probably hand us off to a center somewhere near now, or still be giving us instructions, and their latest instructions would tell us to re-intercept the Victor 185, Victor 185, and usually you wouldn't do that until they establish the altitude that they required you to be on. I have found through Pilot Edge that usually your altitude that they want you to be at, or to fly the cruise altitude, they usually don't get you onto the Victor airway until you hit that cruise altitude. So 800 might be a little slow, so we're going to go up a little bit here. 900 should be able to handle that. Pretty light today. Alright. And we can turn our landing lights off now. Turn the strobe on. Forgot that. You know what? That brings me up with a good point right there. Is that you can make sim flying as immersive and realistic as you possibly can make it, and even some of those stupid little things that I have just done on the flying of this, departing and whatnot, are things that I wouldn't do in college. So, the reality is you should, if you want to create good habits, is stick with the same thing. Doing your pre-flight, doing your pre-checks. I didn't even clear the box before I took off. Doing your run-up. Having everything down. That's, those little things, having a routine will set you up. And I can tell you right now that, I think I'll, once I start my private, or even just start flying more, that I'm gonna have the same routine on the sim as I would in real life. I do right now. I really value the checklist, and I value it because I have a maintainer background, and I can tell you right now that just with flying with other people, that there's about a handful of things that I would question before I took off in some aircraft. So. And we're about ready to hit our altitude, so we're gonna hold right there. Okay, so we're cruising. And the speed's gonna start coming up. We're gonna make sure we're gonna be ahead of that. Start pulling back some. Pull back some throttle and pull back some fuel. Feel that crosswind, we're leaned a little bit to the right, and everything, all the weight's on this side because it's just a pilot right now. We have currently dealing with a unnatural little cold wave that hit North Florida and Georgia right now. You can see right now we're only at 45 and we're at 0 Celsius. Okay, so we're all set there. Altitude set, air we're set. Navigating with the autopilot on GPS mode. Airspeed's good. Everything's in the green. Let's get ourselves set up here on our leaning out. So we're going to lean this out to peak. EGT needle going up. We're going to find our peak. And we just found our peak. So we're going to set that right there. And we're going to go 50 degrees below that. So not much for fuel conservation today. We're right about 8. Probably going to be closer to 10. Pull back a little bit of throttle and make a difference. If we're getting a new peak now. Seem to be getting a better peak there. Okay, so that seems to be our peak right there. Okay, so we're going to go 50 below that. So yeah, it looks like we're going to settle down right about 6, 7, 8, right about 9, which seems right about right. We're going to be a little headwind today, so okay, temps are good. Right at 25. It's 26, so we'll pull this back over. Pull the wrong way back. Right. Let's see what our ground speed is. Oh, we're cooking at a crazy 112 ground speed right now. Holy moly. Nice looking scenery up here. I mean, default. This is all default. Keeping my 25 frames. I can tell you right now, and we'll talk some computer stuff while we're cruising here. the Airfoil Labs Cessna is heavy on frames. Somehow I have managed to do fairly well on X-Plane running in I3. I have an I3. So everybody laugh now, but I get a pretty decent flight sim at 26 frames per second. And there's optimization that I can do. So, do you need an i7 chip? No, you don't. I do have 16 gigs of RAM. I think it's 3400. And I do think my i3 is overclocked to 3.6 gigahertz. And then I'm running the 1050 Ti, which is not the best card that I could have chose for the money either. I could have went up a little bit more and got 1070, and I think I would have seen significant improvements on that. But again, things that I do to cut down on my sim to make my experience. As far as flying, I mean, I would love to have a ortho looking out this window, especially knowing the area. I would know where I was going and know the landmarks a little bit better. But other than that, you know, flying like I am, using navigation or GPS, you know, works just fine. But I'll show you my settings here, so you can see where I'm at. When I'm flying in LA on Pilot Edge, I will bump this down to high. And I will bump this down to 4x SSA. Objects I keep there, I will bump the reflection detail down. But that, by doing that, like if we were flying right now and I bumped all that down, I really don't see a difference outside the window. However, that will be 3540 instead of 25. So, other than that, I don't know what else. Like I said, you know, the Airfoil Labs, I'm getting 27, 25. That'll drop down to 18 every once in a while. In the normal, like, V-Flight Cherokees or the Laminar, even with rep, I'm getting, you know, 35. So, when you're looking at doing a build or computer build, I've seen a lot of questions on like Facebook or stuff like that of, you know, what can I do with this computer, or what can I do with that computer, or do I need an i7 7700 with a 1080 Ti? Well, if you have the money, hell yeah, go ahead. Other than that, if you don't, you can do what I did and start, you know, somewhere like CyberPower or PC or something like that. Get yourself a gaming computer with a good motherboard, and everything runs efficiently. Get a decent, you know, 16 gigs of RAM is nothing really nowadays. It almost seems like it's a standard thing. Spend, you know, $900 to $1,200 on a, you know, sometimes it seems high, but whatnot. But the customize, the ability to customize is immense. Right now I can swap to an i7, all I gotta do is buy the chip. I can swap to a GTA, or GTX 1080, all I gotta do is buy the 1080. I can add RAM, which is pointless anyway, because most games, and especially X-Plane, from everything I've heard, will only use 16. So you can have 32 in there. Nothing going to stop you, but it's only going to use the 16. And that's been kind of the standard for a long time with games, is that you can throw as much RAM as you want in there, but some games are only going to run a portion of your sticks. So, you know, looking at that aspect, I don't know if it's me in my sim, but my AI have not acted very smart. I definitely don't see any traffic. Hang on, tune this real quick. See how small that click spot is? Okay, so we're cruising around just at Sponge, or Spong, whatever. As you can see, I have seen people in Pilot Edge. Let's look for the traffic. Alright, so there's a bunch of traffic down there. But let me just tell you, the other day there was 3 planes above me, and I didn't see them. Like, visually, I did not see them in the sim. So I don't know if that's a little bug that I got going on or whatnot, but my thing is that when I go to ZLA and fly over in Los Angeles on Pilot Edge, I turn all of my AI off. It's useless. All it's going to do is take up the computing power from the CPU, and you don't need it. You can use it to have a little bit of reference scenery, as you're flying around. But other than that, even though now somebody can help me on this. If I don't have any, I don't think I've had this issue or whatnot, but if I don't have any AI active, you should still be able to see the other players in X-Plane. I'm pretty sure. So, and I'm pretty sure I've seen aircraft while I'm flying on Pilot Edge that I didn't have any AI on, and I still see them. So I don't think that's an issue. You won't have an issue with not having any AIs represent Pilot Edge players. But other than that, I mean, things you can do. But obviously there's probably no way that I'd be able to run this, in my i3. There's no way I'm going to be able to run, any ortho with any success. Oh, yeah, there's probably no success, no way. I definitely know I really, really want to get X Enviro, but I think that will hit me down to the point where it'll be unplayable. So I'm going to hold off on X Enviro for right now. World Traffic. I'm going to hold off on that one just because everything that I've seen populates airports and populates the airs and the skies, but because there's no interaction with ATC, I have noticed that, I think, in my personal opinion, especially with what I've seen from other people, and I do not have World Traffic 3. My thing is that it doesn't seem to recognize, like, say, you're coming in on final. There's no way of telling that system you're coming in for final. So I've seen a lot of, near misses with the AI traffic going around, which some people, they don't care about, but whatnot. But, once there's an interactive ATC going on with Laminar, which I think is coming out on 11.10, and that talking to plugins like World Traffic, that could start segmenting you in between the traffic it's creating and the gap for you to land. It's probably, it seems like there would be something on the horizon, but it's not there yet. But again, like I said, it's still going to be something I'm going to hold off anyway because of the fact that I know that we're going to be, I'm going to need to upgrade my CPU to run something like that and get it up. The only key that I'm trying to think in my mind is, do I need to go to an i7 or can I do it with an i5? Because here's the big thing, especially with brand new computer games and with the little knowledge of computer systems that I know, is that the X-Plane is different from other games because of the fact that it is constantly being updated and constantly being revised and remastered and more created more efficiently. So here's the deal. What we can't get to run on, what I'm getting 27 frames per second on the i3 today, a year from now, I might be able to get 35 on these settings because they have refined and made X-Plane more efficient. No. Would I take the chance? If I had the ability to upgrade the CPU right now, yeah, I would. Do that. Just because now you're just going to be that much farther ahead for the next rendition of, video games and stuff like that. But yeah, so there's my little take on my computer game system. But like I said, for the most part right now, I'm completely happy simming the way that I am. The game looks beautiful. Watch your ears. And the aircraft are going to keep getting better. I mean, I'm sure Airfoil Labs is still. I know they're trying to work on their new King Air, but they probably still have somebody working on some of the bugs. There's one bug in particular that I know that a couple of people have reported back to Airfoil, is that when I go back inside, you can see it, but the huge rush of air going from external to internal. But I mean, a beautiful plane. Bump mapping, PBR. I mean, you can't get much better than that. Beautiful. Let's see if we can get one of those nice side shots right there. Look at that. Sun's not at a good angle, but beautiful. Look at that underwing. Yeah. I mean, come on now. Look at that. Just beautiful. Alright, so here comes the rush air. Ears. There you go. Alright, so let's check and see how our plane's doing. We could probably bump up the airspeed or the throttle just a little bit, see if we can edge out a little bit more of the performance. Get close to Dover. There's 115, still running about 115 on the almost at Dover. Yeah, 115. Wow. It's rough. So definitely a headwind. Let's check where we at here. Okay, let's see what we got here. Yeah, wind light variable. It's really not a whole lot of information whatsoever. Let's check QX. It's really wind calm. It does not feel like wind's calm whatsoever right now. Let's see where we're going here. Details. Okay, 30 at 5. 2985 is now 2985. It almost seems like my flaps are down or something. No, the flaps are up. Engine's leaned out. Not pegging the motor out, but I mean, holy moly. 115. Especially at this altitude, we should be able to get up going a little bit better than that. Alright, so, and especially being colder too, this thing should be purring. 5. Does it show winds aloft? I don't know if it shows wind at my altitude. What's wind at 12,000? Let's see here. Holy moly, 37 knots. 39, 37, 37, 37, 39, 42. Holy. That's at 12,000. IFR low, so you can see we're right on it. Yep, Victor 185. These maps are beautiful. These maps are awesome, especially if you flight plan well on SkyVector. It just helps you out so much. You're already knowing. See, there's Millen right there. And then I believe that's Beans. Sardi's gonna be our last. Let's start kind of briefing this. Here we go. So Sardi is gonna be our vector out to the ILS, and that's gonna take us to Shelley is the most outboard out. So I don't even see Shelley on here. But from Sardi, the course is 281. Shelley is approximately Shelley. Where's Shelley? So we cleared the 3,000 from Sardi to Shelley. And no procedure turn for us. We're gonna hit Shelley and then go inbound 352 to the runway, 172 radial of the 110.5 localizer, and from Shelley. Wow, this is a different ILS right here. It's definitely different. So I'm trying. Okay, so I'm trying to look for the established start of the glide slope. If you pull up the ILS localizer runway 35 for Augusta, you'll see that. So we'll go off DME. So 4.5 nautical miles from the end of runway. Not localizer DME, end of runway, is the establishment of the ILS descent. 352. Interesting. Definitely not planned out as thorough as I've seen some of the other ones, but it's still effective. Essentially, we're coming from Sardi going to establish on the ILS. We're at 3,000. Then once we establish, we're cleared to no lower than 2,000. Then once we hit the 352 course inbound to the runway, then we're cleared no lower than 17 at or above. And then we get established on the ILS and just ride it all the way down. Our minimum is for this, the ILS 35. Minimum is going to be 336. I'm going to go ahead and when we do that, we'll go in the IFR mode, which this is my IFR mode. Boom. Gauges only. And we'll use we're taking our turn to Millen. So I will go into IFR mode and hand fly it in on the ILS. Good practice. good practice. Pretty sure. Yeah, my next rating for Pilot Edge is the I-4, so I actually should probably start getting ready to do that. Been kind of busy lately with work and school. But other than that, this is my spare time. This is my hobby. Flying airplanes. Might as well do it as cheap as I can right now until eventually it's going to end up being expensive. Something else I just realized. I keep... Yeah, there we go. Along. We've gotten up to 117, but it's still not breaking any sound barriers, I can tell you that. That's better than 100. So what are we talking here? Estimated time. .432 for that leg. Sardi's next. Sardi should be a longer leg. I actually gonna have to start getting ready here. So now we are inbound to Sardi. So what I'm going to do is I am going to get the procedure. Let's see the flight plan here. Do I activate it now or not? Yeah. Procedure. Let's activate approach. Enter. See, that's what I was afraid of. Yeah, I'm just going to go back to Sardi. Nope. So it is tracking at Sardi. So we're gonna get ourselves ready. It seems like it's a lot more sensitive now. Back and forth. I don't think I really like doing that. Let's see here. You see, I don't know why. I guess we were supposed to hit Sardi and then track to it. So let's let's change that real quick. See, it says it's tracking to Sardi, but it's really not. This may be one of those instances where the nav data is out of sync and Sardi may be off of what Sardi is. You know, Sardi may be over here in the real world. I've heard about this a little bit. So, needless to say, we can start getting kind of prepped and ready for our ILS. So we are 57. That doesn't seem right either. Okay, we're 6 miles away from Sardi. We're gonna check our ATIS one more time. Okay, wind 300 at 5, altimeter's 2985. 2985. 295. Okay, got that set. Okay, so now I'm going to set as the backup. Our ILS localizer is 110.5. We got that set in there, so I'm going to get that ready. I'm going to pop it in here as well, so I can see it on my second one. Okay. Our radial inbound is going to be 172. Okay, 3.6 to Sardi. And remember from Sardi, to IRQ. See, this might be another one right here. Is that looking at the chart? There's Shelley. So just everybody note that if you were to, you would not go wrong flying this non-GPS, because, well, without actually selecting the approach, because you would hit the Sardi and then you would track that outbound on 281 course from there, and that's going to take you to Shelley. Looks like we're in a little bit of a turn, are we? No. So now it's showing that there's another point in between Sardi, IRQ, Sardi IRQ. So what are we doing? We're going 281, actually tracking 32. Should be making a course turn in a second. There we go, right there. Alright, so we're heading to Shelley now. Now we can start getting ready. We're gonna throw the mixture forward, and we're gonna start descending down to 3,000. So back off on the power, go down to 3,000. Down at 500 feet. She seems like she's all over the place. Maybe she's tracking that inbound. 2.7 for Shelley. We're going to actually have to descend a heck of a lot more than that. We're going to have to go to about 900. We're going to really kick the throttle out here. Get this down here. Technically, after we're at 2.2 away from Shelley, and we can after Shelley, we can go to 17. So go. I'm gonna stick with what we got, like we got vectored. So we're gonna switch off of nav and we're gonna go to heading mode. Hit 3,000 and we're going to level off. Okay, we're at 3.5. So we're going to go to nav. We're going to switch it just so we can get back on course. Now we can go to 17. I'm going to come off of 352 is what we're looking for. Let's go heading mode. Okay, and let's re-intercept. Okay, so we're going to swap over. We're on that. We're going to swap back over to 172. 1. And we're going to go to IFR mode. And we're not going to descend anymore. Autopilot is off. And I have it. So we're going to stay right here at like 2,000. Waiting for our heading bug to come back in. Our ILS. And we're looking good. So it's starting to come in. So we're going to have to be on the reciprocal, which is the 352. So right there. We're going to hang off just a little bit. Okay. And we're almost on it. Oh, and we're going to switch back to nav. So we're at 2,000. We're not showing on the localizer, which we're not established yet, but we will be. I don't know why my DMA is not working. But my DMA here, let's switch to that. 2,000. Okay. Starting to come in. Okay, so fuel pump on. Landing lights on. Should have had the fuel pump already on, just FYI. A little bit. We're gonna re-intercept this. 2,000, cleared to 17, total established. So, okay, we're coming back to that ILS. It's coming back for us. Okay. Okay, back on it. So we are on our ILS. 5.3. We're way above our ILS, so we can start descending a little bit here. 17 is where we want to be at. Now below left, of course, we're going to correct back. Remember, our minimums is 336, so we're going to take it down to 400. Really start taking her down. Bring her back. Out. I'm going to slow her down, so I'm going to bring the nose back up a little bit. Try to get one notch of flaps in. Back to 70. Still above our ILS. So we're really going to start dump one more notch in. Try not to float. Okay, let's get her pitched down. Okay, 1,000. Trust the gauges. Trust the gauges. Go back. Off. We're getting close to stall speed. Gotta get this nose down. Trust the gauges. I'm fighting trusting them right now. That's my problem. Okay, we are a little off here. 1.4 away from the runway. 70 knots. 700. Back on ILS. 600. 500. Getting a little low. And let's go back into view. And we are going around because I do not see the runway. And it is. Shelley to AG. 0.7. I actually have no idea where the runway is right now. Oh. We're not even... Okay, so we were way off. We actually didn't even establish yet. And that wasn't... We were 1 point away from active glide, I guess. So we're going visual now, but that was there's an example how dangerous that can get. So going up 1 notch. And we're going to be significantly low. So we're just going to try to glide this in. Well, you know what, here's another one that I can tell you as a, if you're using this as an ILS training aid or whatnot, flying around the country can help you immensely by seeing different ILS approaches. Like I said, remember at the beginning I said that it just seemed weird because there was really no fix for that, and and that's why I kind of hate going on. Because I don't know why this DME is not matching the DME there. Okay, so we can take our power out now. We're on visual. And you can see the ILS is starting to come back in. So we're just going to follow it right down. It's falling away from us. We're above it. So we're going to cut some power. Back in there, try to get back on this here. Pitch for 70. I'm going to drop the next notch of flaps. Okay, landing lights on. There we go, we're starting to come back into that. Left runway 700 600 little left still and a little below, don't want to be below. Okay, 500 coming back to keep that north course so I can keep that back on the line. I'm going to pitch down a little bit. Okay, 500. Go back into view. Okay, a little off. Okay, we'll get back on here. Alright, shooting for less than 100 feet per minute. Flat approach here. I'm not going to dump the last notch because we're really slow right now. Okay, runway made. And we're floating a little bit here. Drop that last notch right there. Let's try to get back on center line here. Here comes a little crosswind. And here comes the flare. $122. Right. Okay, so flaps up. Fuel pump off. Okay, welcome to Augusta International. Alright, flaps all the way up. Okay, landing lights off, taxi on, strobe off, nav off, beacon on. Okay, make sure for ground ops. Okay, where are we parking in this place here? Not really a whole lot of GA stuff here, so we're just gonna go over by the FBO on a corner here. Well, there you have it, guys. I chose a little look back on the approach. Off on my reference point. Could have let the GPS do it. Didn't. And that might have been my mistake. Either committing to using the just completely getting rid of the GPS because it already had the approach set up on there. So then I was referencing the wrong DME. Could have been catastrophic in the real world. Um, Although thankfully we're in IFR conditions and we're in a sim, but reality is that could have been a major issue right there. So referencing the wrong DME, bad news. So either letting the GPS fly the ILS or just going full-blown ILS with VORs. And look at that paint job right there. That's pretty cool, actually. So, you know, mix and match, but I kind of always try to fly with my gauges and then use GPS as a backup. You know, some of these flights that I've done for you guys, kind of doing more of the GPS thing because long flights, and I could sit there and kind of cruise on autopilot and talk about different things. But in that situation, definitely AG. Okay, and so now when I see that on my I see the approach plate now I'm seeing the AG. I see the AG, and at AG is 4.5 nautical miles away from the where is this taxiway going? Doesn't seem like it's, definitely doesn't look like the chart. Okay. Got a bunch of bears up there. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna park right over here. I'll act like one of the big dogs and park on one of the big spots here. My horrible parking job. There we go. All right. Shut her down. So again, there we go.
The engine seems ideally primed.
I see the AG now, and I see the AG point is also the localizer turnaround point for the procedure turn if you were coming from the northbound or east or westbound. 1648 is that established altitude, AGL. So that'll be an interesting approach to fly again. I'm going to definitely try that again. But now, of course, once I've gone through it, you kind of understand that the AG, so 4.5 nautical miles from the end. Localizers on the other side of the runway. So we gotta subtract, I think. But needless to say, you see the error, and luckily it didn't result in a crash on the sim or in real life, but you can learn from it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. What is it, third or fourth leg? Third leg to Michigan. So we are at now at Augusta Regional. Next leg of the trip is going to be from Augusta to Asheville, unless a FS Economy flight provides a deal, you know, getting passengers somewhere else, at least in the direction towards Michigan. But stay tuned for more, and you guys have a good night, and GA Sim Pilot out.